Hello everyone. Today I want to present you my attempt to recreate 8 hours of my practicing. Um, now, just saying, when I said I finished the piece in 8 hours, please don't feel like, well, that's her, I could never do it, it would take weeks for me to finish it. I'm sharing this, if you are quite advanced or professional pianist, I'm sharing this for you to know that you can do the same if you simply make everything right in your practice. If you have the right knowledge, you have the right skills. Of course, the skills would come not overnight, but with some months of correct practice, not years. Every day I practiced around an hour, that's why it took 8 days. And I will explain towards the end of this video why you can only practice so little while analyzing a new piece. So stay tuned. So this is how my practice routine looked like. There were 5 hours for an analyzing stage, 3 hours for a learning stage. And I will explain again in a couple of minutes why the analyzing stage took so much time and why the learning stage took so less time. So I spent an hour for writing down fingering and elbow movements in the score. I spent an hour imagining and playing separate hands and both hands. An hour for listening to harmonies, and then for harmony, dynamics, and voicing imagination and playing. I spent an hour playing with musical speech and phrasing, and I will soon probably make another video about phrasing in this piece, phrasing only. I spent an hour for playing with emotional image, musical form, time, and artistry. Of course, I would apply artistry even if I need to play in front of the camera, because that black eye still freaks me out a little bit, so I need my artistry. And I spent 3 hours for learning and speeding up, where the first hour was for learning the piece by sentences, repeating in different tempos and fixing difficult parts. And I show very detailed in my accompaniment tutorials how you can fix difficult parts using better elbow movements and musical speech in your intonations. The second hour was for learning the piece by 2 sentences, by 4 sentences, and by 8 sentences, which actually is the whole piece. And at the end, again, I was fixing some difficult parts. And the last hour was for playing through the whole piece in fast tempo, of course, non-stop, around 10 times. And of course, I took some times to play in less faster tempo, somewhere in between. So on that last day, my goal was to forget about all the tasks I had before, because by that time there were all the inner and outer sensations, memories, and basically I would simply let go of those tasks and become a channel to express the world beyond. And that's our ultimate goal in playing, in case you might forget some on the way. That's why I'm teaching all the principles of the piano system, so you would feel totally comfortable and free to create something that cannot be explained in words, something that is only possible to create through music. That was my dream when I was 14. Anyways, I also want to add that I usually avoid listening to any recordings before I'm completely done with my own interpretation. Everything is written in the score, so what else do you need? Just read it. Because, somehow, if I would watch other videos before practicing, it would interfere with my own imagination and bring confusion and tension. It's like I would have in my mind others, not mine, ideas. and that doesn't feel like convincing to me at some level, so it always creates tension. I don't know, I don't like it. But if for some reasons, for example, I have questions regarding a pedal, right? I would go ahead and listen to only very trustful pianists, in my opinion, and trying to pay attention only to a part where I need to clarify the pedal. So with Rachmaninoff piece, that was Rachmaninoff himself. The first thing that you probably noticed is that I'm not trying to make all the musical marks like articulations, dynamics, voicing, phrasing, time, emotions right away. Actually, I'm not even trying to sight read with both hands. It's too confusing to me, and if you do this, it could be actually dangerous because you might end up learning some mistakes that later will take weeks, if not months, to correct. So I'm not doing it. I just separate all the tasks layer by layer and making every little step as conscious as I can. Conscious, meaning every step comes from my mind first and is conveyed through the correct movement. Also, as you have probably noticed, I spend only an hour a day for an analyzing stage, and not more. It's because when you start making new inner sensations, like imagination or intonation, you need some time to process those patterns in your mind. So those tasks will become more solid and ready for new layers. And in this case, the night sleep is the best. Actually, a short nap also could work. If you practice this way, then A, you will find it very easy to imagine new layers on the top of previous layers, and B, you will not have a mess in your mind, and you will keep all the tasks in order. Meaning, when you add dynamics, your articulations wouldn't be missed. Vice versa. When you make time, you wouldn't miss phrasing, or vice versa. When you switch your attention to some local tasks to fix, you wouldn't miss all other tasks. And when you think about musical part, its technical part wouldn't suffer, or vice versa. So basically, you wouldn't end up trying to fix nearly everything, getting very tense and confused, where some things would still be missing and still not being enough in your playing. Also, you probably noticed that I didn't spend days or weeks at the learning stage, only 3 days. 3 days, guys. It's because when all the inner and outer sensations are comfortable, you have no problem to speed up. You just speed up and make all the sensations faster. That's all. In other words, you don't spend hours to relearn not efficient movement that slow you down and lock your muscles, because all your movements and sensations were initially 100% aligned with the music you play. And you might still have some difficult parts, sure. They need some slight fix, but it's just this. You just fix it with like better elbow movement, better musical speech and intonation, and in some seconds, maximum some minutes, it's all done. So you go ahead. It does not, keeps you away from speeding up. That's the main thing. So that was precisely my practice routine that I use for every single piece I practice, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.